Hi guys. Maisie. My dog's being crazy. Of course. Come here, you want to say hi? No? Okay. Just a little bit of real life for you, what real life looks like. So I haven't posted a video on YouTube in a long time. When I first had started, or when I first decided, I was watching a lot of family vloggers and I thought, oh my gosh, this would be so fun and so perfect for my family because my family just doesn't do anything on cue ever. It's what you see is what you get. And I thought I was working full time and also just trying to, I was trying to be a mom and I was trying to work and I was trying to be a maid and just do all of it at the same time. And I think that caused this feeling in me, which we'll get to a little bit later, that I was never where I was supposed to be or doing what I was what I thought socially was acceptable for me to be doing. Turns out, right after I started vlogging, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I lost my job pretty quick after. After 2 years of dedicated service, but we're working through that. And so it took me some time after that to be myself again and feel like I was in control of what was going on around me. And so I'm ready again to try to start making videos. I have to go back and do all that research on how to make videos. Maybe in one of these I'll actually do my hair. Who knows? Probably not. So I have a little notepad here that I'm going to be using as bullet points just to kind of go through and talk about what's been going on in my life. Going back to that like mom guilt phase when I was working, I felt like I was never working hard enough at work because I was worried about my daughter. And then when I was home, I was worried about what I didn't do at work that I should have gotten done that day. And so I had this like guilt that I wasn't enough. And now that I'm home, I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough for our family. I'm not contributing. And these are, I think, feelings that a lot of moms, or even maybe not even moms, but maybe women have, that they don't necessarily voice, but it is apparent to the people around you when you're just not yourself and you're not feeling right or good about what you do. And then I think I've come to the conclusion that the work that you put out, no matter what work you do, if you're not feeling like you're doing enough, then the work's going to come through as if it was not enough. For instance, I would do the dishes, but I wasn't happy. I still needed to wipe down all the surfaces, including the cabinets, and organize the cabinets. And so doing the dishes when I first lost my job was like a 45-minute chore because I was then cleaning the kitchen like from ceiling to floor to feel like I had done something. Right now, I've kind of worked past that, and I understand I have she's 20 months old now, and I'm 7 months pregnant now, so I'm very big. And like sweeping and mopping the floors all in one day just isn't an option for me. I get terrible, terrible lower back pain. And he's pushing so hard on my diaphragm that by the end of the day, like even just sitting here cross-legged the way that I am is making me like out of breath. So some of the things that I used to be able to do, I'm not able to do. And I had a doctor's appointment a couple months ago and I just was bawling. Like I said, my first pregnancy was so perfect. I never felt like this. I was happy, I was ready, and now I feel like I'm never ready. Nothing is ever, I nest and nest and nest and nothing is enough. And we started to talk a little bit about postpartum depression and how the influx of hormones, if you get pregnant pretty quickly after your first, can onset early postpartum depression for your second, and how we need to watch for signs of that. And I started doing a lot of research on natural home like remedies that I can do that would make me feel better, because, and this is kind of a very personal topic for YouTube, but I had addictions before, long before I had kids, like in my teens, and just some of the pharmaceutical drugs that are on the market for depression, their side effect profiles made me very leery in taking them, because I already know that I have an addictive personality, and I want to feel myself. I know what that feels like, and I was worried that I wouldn't, because let's be honest, these antidepressant drugs are, to me, and they might work for some people, and that's awesome. I just didn't want to risk taking them while I was pregnant. Maybe that's an option for me after I have Jameson, but it didn't seem like it was the right option for me. So I looked into some homeopathic and just more natural ways to kind of like get out of my funk. And I'll go over that more in a couple minutes. But really, what my problem is now, I built my identity around my job. Obviously, that's why I wanted to start a vlog about what it was like working 40 to 50 hours a week, and then coming home, doing like 20 hours collectively a week of like mommy, bedtime, dinner routine, and just pushing myself to the utmost limit. Now what my life is like now. So I've gotten into a routine here at home with my daughter, and that's awesome. We typically will wake up, we'll get her ready for the day. She is awesome as an alarm clock. She wakes me up between 7 and 7:30 every day without fail, no matter what time she goes to bed. I'm sorry, this is like bothering me. Here. There we go. Now it's like not in my face. She wakes me up between 7 and 7:30, then we come down and we have breakfast. I really enjoy that like breakfast morning time with her, because she seems to be a morning person. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's some research out there that suggests when not research, but I guess wives' tales that suggest when your kid was born, like what time of day, that's when they're gonna be their most happy. So my daughter was born at 7:20 in the morning, and that is totally when she is most happy. And I have never really been a morning person, but she makes me a morning person, which is good. If we need to, like if she had some kind of accident, we'll take a bath. Usually she doesn't. She does pretty good. And we'll come down, we'll have breakfast. It's my favorite time of the day. We'll drink coffee and dance, and I usually make her eggs or waffles, or if I'm feeling really lazy, I'll just cut up some fruit and give her some yogurt. The problem with toddlers and yogurt is they like to give themselves like yogurt facials, which she did today. So real life here. This cup is still from this morning because we didn't eat here the rest of the day. Look at this gross cup. There's always more to do, I tell you. So then from there, we'll usually either watch like 30 minutes of like Mother Goose Club, or we'll go for a walk. Just kind of, we usually stay around home, because since she wakes up at 7:30 and breakfast will usually take us like an hour. That's 8:30, and then I've got to get ready and do like a couple chores. So I try to stay home in the morning, even though that's the coolest time of the day where I live. I live in Denver, Colorado. So really, maybe we should be going to the park in the morning instead of the afternoon. But she'll go down for a nap at 12, usually naps till about 2:30 or 3, which is, she's a godsend kid. She's a trap baby, I tell you. And then when she wakes up from her nap, we get ready for our day again, because she's all messed up, her clothes are dirty, whatever. And then we'll go out to do an activity. And then we come home, we play and make dinner, and then maybe bath time if we do baths every other day, because it's really dry here. So if it's bath night, we'll do a bath, and then we do our bedtime routine, which is my second favorite time of the day. Not because it's bedtime, but we really created a routine that I love, and it kind of brings everything home for me that we've done in the day, and I can kind of see what she's learned with me. Whereas when she was in daycare, it was hard for me to like keep track of what she was learning and like if she even had a schedule. And I would ask, but you know, there's other kids in the daycare, so you can't be too. It was an in-home daycare, but still, I didn't push it. And so now that I've kind of come to my own and I feel like I'm doing everything I can be doing as a mother, I'm noticing some guilt in other places of my life that I'm trying to combat, and I'm not really finding a whole lot of like homeopathic or natural ways to like fight it. And I don't know if that's because I'm pregnant and I'm just extra emotional. We'll definitely see what happens after I have our son. But I'm finding like I feel guilty in myself as a wife. And am I contributing enough to our household? Like, is what I'm doing valuable? Or could he just hire like a maid and a sitter to do the exact same thing? Or I get this feeling like he resents me for not having a job, which is not on him at all. He doesn't. And he always tells me how much he appreciates me, and you know, just how he understands I'm just not really in the position right now to work another full-time job until people just don't want to hire a 7-month pregnant lady. They just don't. And then give them the time, train them, and then give them the time off for the baby. People are like, just call us after you have the baby and you're ready to work again. And which kind of sucks, because I was ready to work like right after I got fired. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm not even gonna miss a single payment. Like I said, I really built myself up around my self-esteem. Really relied in my ability to contribute financially to our family, and now that I don't, I hate that I have to ask, like, hey, can I go to Starbucks today? When I used to just be like, oh, I'm gonna treat myself to a Starbucks. It's a big change, and it's because marriage or any relationship is such a partnership. It's hard. I don't think this is something that I can get through on my own, because we're a team. But he should also not have to like lift me up every day and tell me that I'm worthy of his money. You know, I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's not his job, but it is his job. It's our job. And maybe it's just totally internal. Like, I would resent somebody if I was paying all the bills by myself and they got to sit at home all day, which is then like, this is maybe like the longest I've sat in a week other than going to sleep. So, it's tricky, man. It's a tricky life. It's like, some days things are good and some days things are bad, and that's just how it is sometimes. So, on here it says briefly talk about mom guilt, and I've gone on for 13 minutes. And so let's talk a little bit about how I have stayed happy through this pregnancy, even though everything's been against me. And I'm not a person to complain. I'm a very positive person. But I lost my job. My car was totaled by hail like a week after. I got a speeding ticket. Oh my gosh. I could go down the list, but it just seems like it was everything at once hit me so hard. And it was like, when is something positive going to happen in my life? And the answer to that question was when I started making positive changes in my life to help me out with the overwhelming amount of hormones that I have going on. So, here are some things that I do. And this is going to sound really simple and really stupid, and you're going to be like, ugh, that's not it. That can't be it. But it really is. So what I've done, I make sure that I eat 3 times a day, every day. That's probably why I've gotten so big. Not a ton of food, but as soon as my body knows when it's going to be eating and when it's going to be metabolizing, and I've created a schedule around that. So it's not always the healthiest food of all time, but I am always eating. like I eat on a schedule. So I eat with Alice. I do eat lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Not in that order. um, and and then I have noticed that I do feel better on days when I eat healthier rather than I'm like making mac and cheese for my kid and I just eat whatever's left. If I take the time to buy the produce and then make it, it does make me feel better. And to that same effect as what's going on inside of my body, what's going on outside of my body, I've as far as creating a schedule, that's really helped too. So when I was working, my schedule was 10:40 to 10:40 in the morning to 7:05 p.m. And I was really, even if Alice was waking up at 7:30, she was hanging out with her dad till he went to work, John, my husband. And I was waking up at like, to give myself 20 minutes to get ready, 10 minutes to get her in the car, get her to daycare, just in time to get to work. And it was different every day. So like some days I would get up with her at between 7 and 7:30, but some days I wouldn't get up till like 8:30 and we had to be out the door by 8:45 because it was a long drive to her daycare and then backtrack to work. I think that really caused a lot of like, I don't know, I think my body needs like a schedule and to go to sleep at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every day. And that's really helped me as far as so to follow my daughter's schedule, not follow it, but to enforce it, also kind of puts me on a schedule for when I do chores and when I have downtime. And so I think I don't want to like diagnose myself because I hate when people do that. They're like, oh, I have anxiety and depression, but I've never seen a doctor. I have talked to my OB a little bit about depression, postpartum depression specifically. But I have never actually been diagnosed with anxiety. However, I've had some pretty crazy, like, I don't know, anxious fits, I guess, in my life. And when something that isn't planned, like if I didn't plan it and it happens, it really throws me off. And so creating like an everyday schedule for me has really helped. And I don't write it down. It's totally mental. It's not like, oh, and then on Wednesday we're going to go to the park and on Thursday we're going to go to the library. Pretty much after she gets up from her nap, if I look up and I see something's going on at the library, we have from like 3 to 5 to go out and do something, I will go do it. But I don't plan those kind of things. I just know generally what time of day, what I'll be doing. And my toddler really helps with that. And maybe being home with her through this rather than being at work has helped a lot because she's kind of created like this schedule in my life that I have to follow for her. It's better for her to have a schedule. And it makes me feel less anxious too. I'm like, okay, I'm up for the day. I'm going to make coffee. I'm going to make breakfast. We're going to go on with our day. And then our bedtime routine is just so sweet. I had mentioned that earlier. Oh my gosh, I need to wrap this up. It's almost 20 minutes long. Our bedtime routine, we go up, I make her a bottle. Yeah, she's 20 months, still on a bottle. It is what it is. And then once she has her jammies on, she gets to pick out books. And she has these favorite books that she likes us to read where she can use the pictures on the page to cue kind of what it is. Or some of her animal books, she knows the animals on every page. So that's just a really sweet time for me because I can see from where she was because we've done this for a long, long time. I can see where she was a couple months ago and then where she is now. And like how many more animals she knows, how many more emotions she knows, how many new body parts she knows. And it really that is a time where I feel validated as a mom because I've taken that time to read to her, and then beyond the books, I will use what we've read to kind of help us throughout the day. Like, okay, we're gonna put shoes on, where are your toes? Little activities like that. So creating a schedule in my life, creating a schedule with my diet, not diet, but what I eat, making sure that I am drinking plenty of water. And then the last thing that I have played around with, but not really done a whole lot, And pregnancy isn't an excuse. I'm just not like a worky outy person. But I do take walks with Alice almost every day, and I don't just like go outside and sit down and let her play outside. I try to like stay up on my feet and play with her, or walk with her, or run with her, run around with her. And just doing a little bit of that every day, I think gives me like an endorphin boost or something, and just makes me like a happier person. Something that I'm going to try post-pregnancy is walking by myself, like maybe not in the morning before she wakes up, but maybe at night after she goes to sleep, because she does go to sleep around 7:30. And maybe just like that quiet time by myself, and plus like a little bit of exercise. And then when I'm feeling more confident, maybe like a gym membership could definitely help. And I think beyond anything, what I need to focus on post-pregnancy is building like a new tribe of women, because I had so many friends, like women friends at work, and some had kids and some didn't, and we were all different ages, but what we had in common was that we worked together, and it was nice to have like girlfriends. So that's maybe another reason that I've been feeling kind of not myself, or something I would like to do to get back to feeling more like myself is start like allowing people around me again, and not being embarrassed of like my house or how I look or whatever, and just being like, this is who I am. Are we gonna be friends? So that's what I was saying about the gym membership, is that it puts you kind of around like-minded individuals, kind of like-minded, that want the best for you, and you'll see these people frequently because you go to the same place. So that's going to be a goal for me, in my battle against maybe anxiety and maybe depression, or what I really think is going on is just so much of my life changed all at once that I couldn't take it all, and so I like bottled up. But I'm getting back. I'm going to be researching videos. I'm going to be videoing my family and my house. It's not pretty, but it is our home. We love it. So, next time, I think I'm going to try to do one of these kind of videos, maybe like once or twice a month. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what I've been reading about. I've had not a lot of free time, but at night when I lay in bed, I do have some free time to read. Something that's been interesting to me is cognitive empathy. So I'll be kind of talking a little bit about that. I'm not a doctor. I know nothing. That's why I'm doing this. I know nothing. I just want to talk to people and talk about my experience, because you know what, I may not be, maybe now my life does kind of look like these other family vloggers now that I'm home and he's working, and I'm here all day, and maybe my life does look similar to that, but I still have something to bring to the table, and I think what we have going on here in our family is great, and I hope you guys have good days and bad days too, but mostly good days, and that you can find a little bit of levity in like the real life of some of our discussions. So yeah, next time we'll talk about what I'm reading about. Hopefully I'll have another vet video about Alice in between then. And maybe I'll get some more followers. I haven't even checked my YouTube. Do I have maybe I have a bunch of mean comments like, who is this lady? Anyways, guys, it's a work in progress. We all do the best we can. Have a great rest of your week.